Good afternoon and welcome to Newsbeat. This bulletin is also live on DSTV channel 277 and also live on Facebook, Metro TV Ghana, and on Twitter, Metro TV GH. My name is Harriet Adi. Coming up in the headlines. Police administration steps as surveillance in the Wa Central Municipality following reported cases of murder and abductions. Traders at Kumasi Central Markets who were relocated for the reconstruction of the Phase 2 project of the KJTR market expressed disappointment in government for paying less attention to their grievances. And the news from elsewhere, hundreds of Boko Haram jihadists have fled a forest enclave in northeast Nigeria, escaping airstrikes by the military and floods from torrential rains. There's many more coming up in the next 60 minutes. Welcome, this is Newsbeat. Now to our first story. The police administration says it wishes to assure the people of the Wa metropolis and its environs that it has taken cognizance of the security concerns, and the administration has therefore put in place measures to support the regional police command to beef up security to ensure the safety of all persons in the metropolis. In this regard, special purpose investigation and intelligence teams, as well as additional police visibility and crime combat teams have been deployed to Wa under the leadership of the Director General of Operations. Once again, the police says it wishes to assure the public that they will continue to work towards ensuring the safety and security of all persons across the country. Meanwhile, some irate youth in the Wa municipality of the Upper West region yesterday stormed the Wa Na Palace, demanding explanation over what they call serial killings in the Wa township. This follows the latest killing of another night security man last night.
Have gone missing in the space of 3 days. All three had blood stains left at their various places of work. Last night's killings happened at a shop around the Wa Technical Institute. The latest victim is reported to come from a nearby community called Bungu. This is after a 60-year-old man, Francis Badigbe, who worked as a night security man at a private school, Star Standard International School, also went missing. Traces of blood stains within the compound of the school where he worked as a night watchman suggested he had been killed and taken away. The school has been shut down pending police investigations into the mysterious disappearance. Fear and panic have gripped residents as within a period of 5 months, more than 10 persons have been abducted and killed and their body parts removed. Some irate youth of Wa who are unhappy with the happenings marched to the Wa Na Palace to demand explanations.
Every day we sleep, we get up to hear of new killings. At least we are thinking that it should have drawn the attention of stakeholders to get involved. Our parents who are aged and are doing those night security jobs are not safe. Our thinking now is that any moment from now, when they are done with them, you will be in the room, they'll come break into and pick you and tell you away. It's now getting out of hands. We are just kind of stakeholders to come out as of now to help the worst town. It's now terrible estate. We don't know why people are pretending not to even know what is happening.
Spokesperson of the Wa Na, Kadri Ibrahim, said the Wa Na has called an emergency meeting to deliberate on the matter and will soon brief the municipality on the measures to stop it.
Every subordinate chief, every chief under his jurisdiction to come alongside their FPs, the Tendamba, so that they look seriously again into this canker that has befallen our dear society. And then he as well wants to call on the Honorable Regional Minister and the members of the Regional Security Council to take steps to get the Honorable Minister for the Interior to impose a curfew on Wa and its immediate environs with effect from today.
The Upper West Regional Police Command and the Regional Coordinating Council have also put in measures to hand for the perpetrators.
Now let us stay on the same story and speak to our Upper West Regional correspondent Adam Musa for more on this. Now tell us, between yesterday and today, how has things been faring in the communities? Is there confidence whatsoever going on there?
Well, last night till now, there has been some calm in town, particularly last night, because I went around just to observe what is happening. And I must say there was a number of security checkpoints in town. And the purpose was that just to ensure that motorists are checked proper, because it has been alleged that these perpetrators are using tricycles, kambu, which is very common in Wa, to perpetrate this heinous act. So last night there has been some additional security checkpoints in town. Until now, we have not had any have any information as to whether people are not certain, but it's still the same. Fear and panic is still within the Wa metropolis, as we all know since yesterday. And if you go around town, some foreigners were attacked, particularly Nigerian spare parts shops in town. They were attacked because they allege that they are complicit of what has been happening. And till now, the shops still remain closed. There's a few two shops that are open, but the rest of the Nigerian-owned shops in Wa are still closed because they don't know what could happen if they attempt to open their shops. But there's also a series of meetings going on at the Wanas Palace. This is to ensure that they get a way out through a traditional way, or whatever they can do to support the security agency to apprehend the perpetrators who are going around killing watchmen in town. So I must say this morning there's calm in Wa. So now there's calm, and the discussion is still going on. And we don't know what will happen last night, this night too, if indeed we can have that same environment. But we hope to have that same environment because of the statement put up. And the statement is something that the stakeholders have welcomed, and they are ready to work with the police to stop what is happening in Upper West region for the past 5 months, particularly for the past 5 months.
Okay, Adams, I am wondering why they are attacking the Nigerians or the foreigners over there. Have you gotten any word as to whether if they got any information that a Nigerian or a foreigner was involved in the killings?
Well, the accusation is simply that they suspect that they are behind what has been happening. That's just a mere accusation that leveled against Nigerians in Wa. That particularly Nigerians, they are not saying the whole foreigners in Wa, foreigners who domiciled in Wa, but particularly Nigerians, because they accuse them of being behind what is happening. So that's it's just a mere allegation. But the police, in their duty, were able to protect the Nigerians. Nothing bad happened to them, except that they themselves think they are not safe. That is why their shops will remain closed. But security have assured us that they are on top of their duty, and they will make sure that nothing bad happens as they look for the perpetrators of this act in Wa.
Thank you very much, Adam Musa. He is our Upper West regional correspondent, giving us updates on the Wa killings happening over there. Now, moving on to more stories, the Ghana National Fire Service will soon receive a boost in its quest to fight fires and its devastating effects. This follows the casting of sod for the construction of a modern synthetic aqueous foam compound technology, which is used to extinguish fires in advanced countries. Chief Fire Officer Julius Kuno says the intervention will end the continuous importation of the products for fighting fire.
Statistics by the Ghana National Fire Service indicates that Ghana registered some 4,467 fire outbreaks occurred between January and July across the country for the first half of 2022. January recorded 1,090 fire outbreaks, with bushfires being the highest with 432, while there were 317 domestic fires. The Ghana National Fire Service is currently incapable of dealing with emergency fire situations, especially in high-rise buildings. Synthetic aqueous film forming foam concentrate are best for extinguishing and securing flammable hydrocarbon liquid fires. The factory, when completed, will assist the Ghana National Fire Service and other state institutions to extinguish flammable liquid fires such as fuel fires. Chief Fire Officer Julius Kuno Alepkuri said the factory could not have come at the right time.
We spend millions of dollars. Government spends millions of dollars in importing this foam because we need it. It's a very critical need. This time, because of the combustibles in the markets at homes, we are using plastics in our ceilings. We are using oil. When you get to the market, you see oil all over the place. You can't use any ordinary water to extinguish the fire. It's this foam that we use. Apart from being used in firefighting, we also use it in our rescue duties. For example, if there's any bee attack here, it is the foam that will be able to drive these bees away.
Alhaji Abubakar Kabori is the chief of the Fise community.
This factory, when completed, shall serve the Ghana National Fire Service, the oil and gas industry, the marine and aviation sector, port and harbors, the mining sector, the Ghana Armed Forces, and the rest of the world. We are very delighted at this factory conceded with the government agenda of industrialization and wish to state that we will partner with government as well as non-governmental organization agency in the area of research and development with a strong collaboration with industry as academia.
Away from that, Chief Executive Officer of Dalex Finance, Ken Thompson, says Ghana's quest to secure an IMF bailout will yield nothing if government continues to exhibit fiscal indiscipline and reckless expenditure. He insists governments can only return the economy to normalcy when it's cut down on the large size of government and reduce its spending.
As far back as 2018, the public presentation, I said, stop borrowing. This is public. Raise taxes. Of course, how it's not possible for her to say anything other than she said because it's part of restoring confidence of investors. And this issue of spending more than we have, it's not this regime. We've been doing it forever. But Auntie Georgina can't say anything other than that. But what she has said is that you bring your own how you think you're going to solve the problem. This is what we think we can give you, and we'll pour anointing oil on it. That's all. And we'll have the stick to ensure that you do what you said you're going to do. That is all they're doing. But she can't say otherwise.
See, that's interesting.
I mean, she can't say otherwise. We brought this upon ourselves. And I want to take the politics out of it. We didn't start yesterday. We brought it upon ourselves. Smart borrowing wasn't started in 2017. Smart borrowing started well before 2017. We'll borrow dollars. It's cheap. And we'll give you CDs. So, and that's funding your programs. You're funding your programs. And you are spending money on programs that generate no return. Go around the country. See the number of projects that have been abandoned. How do we think they were funded? From loans. So how are the loans going to be paid back? Of course, the only way is you're going to go south. I mean, hello, come on. I don't even want to talk about it.
I think it's quite obvious.
I mean, go anywhere in this country. Even the remotest village, the number, if you count the number of culverts that have been abandoned, where do we think the money came from? Loans. How are those loans going to be paid back? Where they contribute zero to productivity. Of course, you're going to run into a ditch. And you go, and Auntie Georgina says, okay, it's fine. You want me to support you? Of course, I have to support you. What is they supposed to do?
Special aide to the former president, John Mahama, Joyce Bauer, says Mahama's comment on the judiciary is a statement of fact and in no way meant to undermine the institution as being reported by the Attorney General. She said the Attorney General's response to the former president's comment is disdainful.
Well, you know, I would like to say one thing, that if there's anything that is a threat to our security, there's a government that thinks that nobody should dare criticize them, that nobody should dare speak out of turn, that nobody should share any views contrary to what they think is right or wrong. And above all, nobody should dare utter any words that are not uttered to praise, sing, celebrate, or literally tickle interests of those in power. When God blesses a young individual and gives you such a great opportunity where you have very large shoes to fill, then you ought to take that as a blessing. It ought to guide you in terms of how you carry yourself and conduct yourself. If President Mahama were his father and had dared to raise those concerns in the context in which he did, would Dami speak to him the way he did? If the roles were reversed and it was President Akufo-Addo sitting on that side as President Mahama, would he dare utter those words to his face? Totally disrespectful and disdainful. Absolutely disdainful.
Moving on, now Accra Circuit Court has jailed Gabriel Jamara Sapon, an IT specialist at the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry for 15 months. This follows the accused's admittance of the charge of defrauding by false pretense pressed against him.
The information and technology specialist Gabriel Sapon was slapped with charges of false pretense, posing as a public officer. Thus, the Deputy Lands and Natural Resources Minister, George Mreku Duka. In court on Friday, September 16, 2022, the accused pleaded guilty to the second charge after his lawyer prayed the court to hand him a non-custodial sentence. Earlier, the counsel for the accused argued that the convict is a good citizen and an IT specialist, and that he has a wife and 2 children, and if given custodial sentence, his wife and children will have a problem. But the prosecutor on their part said the accused is not known to the law, hence handling the decision of the court in the hands of the presiding judge, Evelyn Asamoah. The judge on her part said the nature of the punishment must commiserate with the offense as brought before the court. It was on this ticket that she sentenced the convict to 15 months in jail in hard labor on the second count, defrauding by false pretense. Meanwhile, the accused will appear in court again on October 12, 2022 for the hearing of the first count, defrauding by false pretense.
Now, the National Identification Authority has disclosed it will begin the registration of Ghanaians in the diaspora in November this year. Executive Secretary of the authority, Professor Kenneth Atefua, outlined the NIA's upcoming activities for the next 3 years. Also said the authority will also register Ghanaians below 15 years and those in detention centers soon.
The following constitute the key activities planned for the year 2022 and beyond. A. Registration of Ghanaians in the diaspora commencing November 2022. Registration of Ghanaians abroad commencing November 2022. Registration and issuance of smart cards to Ghanaians between the age of 6 and 14 years old. And NIA intends to register approximately 1.5 million children in this age cohort starting in December or early January, in December 2022 or early January 2023. Registration of refugees in Ghana commencing next week. Registration of Ghanaians in places of detention, prisons, mental hospitals, or asylums, cells, and the rest. Continuation of institutional and household registration services which attract a fee. And continuation of the onboarding processes for the user agencies, that is, those who by law are entitled to receive data from NIA. And those fall into categories of institutions and individuals permitted by law. And finally, the provision of identity verification and data harmonization services to these user agencies so that they can verify your data.
We're taking a quick break. There's more after this. Do stay. Welcome back from the commercial break. My name is Harriet Adi. Let's do more stories. Now, Ghana has officially been declared Marburg virus-free, having passed the mandatory period with no new confirmed or probable cases. This announcement by the Ghana Health Service follows the World Health Organization's guidelines, as 42 days have passed since the last person confirmed to have the Marburg virus disease tested negative.
After Ghana appeared to be coming out of the dreaded COVID-19 pandemic, an equally deadly disease, the Marburg virus disease, also reared its ugly head. The highly infectious disease is in the same family as Ebola, for which no treatment exists, as the country recorded its first 2 cases in June 2022. Ghana currently has no active case of the Marburg virus, as it has been officially declared by the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Patrick Kuma Abwaje.
So following the discharge of the single case, in the absence of any new case, the countdown for this declaration started on the 6th of August 2022. We had implemented additional measures as part of the action to culminate the final declaration of the outbreak. Ghana has therefore successfully interrupted the first Marburg virus disease outbreak and hereby declare that the outbreak is officially over.
He also mentioned that the Ghana Health Service is committed to working towards sustaining viruses in the country.
Our resilience disease surveillance system has once again demonstrated the existing capacity to detect and engender appropriate response actions, despite the fact that we are dealing with other outbreaks, yellow fever, monkeypox, measles, and still with COVID. Together with our partners under the leadership of the Ministry of Health and all stakeholders, will continue to work towards achieving the public health security in Ghana.
Meanwhile, the country representative of the World Health Organization, Francis Chisaka Kasulu, congratulated government for a good job done.
Happy to report that since the time the response to the outbreak from the Ministry of Health and Ghana and partners started, it has been swift, consistent, and very focused. It is heartening that within 6 weeks after the detection of Ghana's first Marburg virus disease, this outbreak has been officially declared over. I would like, on behalf of the World Health Organization, to congratulate the Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service for their timely response and rapid containment of the Marburg virus disease outbreak here in Ghana.
This announcement comes as a huge relief for Ghana as it continues to fight other viruses in the country.
Meanwhile, the Director of Public Health of the Ghana Health Service says COVID is still around and we should really take good care of our health.
According to Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, the world has never been in a better position to end the pandemic. Not there yet, but the end is in sight. He urged countries to keep up their efforts against the virus that has killed over 6 million people. However, latest update by the country's health management body, its designated COVID-19 portal, said it has recorded 34 active cases of infections, pushing the total case count to 168,616. The new infections are from tests conducted as of September this year. The active cases are being managed in treatment sites, isolation centers across the country, while some were under home management. However, The Director of Public Health of the Ghana Health Service, Franklin Esiedu Bequin, has hinted that Ghana's COVID-19 cases is also gradually losing its sides.
The scenario is not very much different from Ghana. So if you look at our data, for the past 3 months, we've gotten a decline. So now you're looking at an active case of around 50. But let me say that COVID is a very unpredictable disease, because we have been instances that we've gotten very low, and then when you have the new variant, it goes up. So what I would say is that it's about how protected is the population.
He also called on Ghanaians to get vaccinated and observed safety protocols.
If you are in an enclosed place and then you have more than 2 or 3 people there, to me, I would recommend that you wear a mask. If you are on the outside, fine. So the first thing is that it's about protection. So one is the vaccination. So we need to get a level of vaccination that gives us a kind of population immunity. So we are not there yet. So I urge Ghanaians to get vaccinated if you have not been vaccinated.
A total of 168,616 tests have also been conducted, of which 16,183 are from routine surveillance, 99,774 from contact tracing, while 7,659 are from international travelers arriving through the Kotoka International Airport.
The Ghana Health Service says it has started a campaign to vaccinate all dogs in the country following the outbreak of the rabies virus in the Ashanti region. So far, 12 confirmed cases of the rabies virus have been reported in 3 districts of the Ashanti region. There's more in the following report.
The Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council, following the 12 reported cases, have begun an awareness program to educate residents of the Ashanti region about the virus. Director of Public Affairs of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Esiedu Bequin, says a campaign program has been commenced to vaccinate all dogs in the country as a measure to curtail the spread of the virus.
And rabies is one condition that when you get, the chance of dying is about 100%. So they have 4 deaths reported in Ashanti. They are pushing a campaign to make sure that all dogs are actually vaccinated. I think that we need to look at the ownership of pets. People have pets, dogs, cats, and they don't vaccinate them. So we are pushing that people should own their dogs and get them vaccinated. Just 2 months ago, we had what they call the National Bridging Workshop, whereby the human and the animal sectors are working together, so that we actually try to minimize or actually eradicate rabies from Ghana by the year 2030.
He encouraged Ghanaians to report early to the clinic when bitten by a dog.
We also want sensitizing our clinicians about the post-exposure prophylaxis, that if you are bitten by a rabid dog, you need to report as early as possible. So that's being done.
Risk Communications Officer of the Veterinary Services Directorate, Dr. Benjamin Kisi Sasu, on his part, says a mass vaccination exercise will be carried out within the catchment areas where the rabies cases have been recorded in 3 districts of the Ashanti region.
A lot of sensitization will go on in those districts and outside and nationwide, but those districts may go through mass rabies vaccination. That's by the guideline, and which preparation are also being made to do so.
The Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council is expected to help raise funds for the vaccination exercise in the region.
Let's now focus on education. Now, the West African Examination Council, WAEC, has issued caution letters to 34 senior high schools following reported cases of examination malpractices in the ongoing secondary school certificate examination.
African Senior High School Certificate Examination (WASSCE) commenced on August 1, 2022 at 775 centers across the country. 48 out of 60 subjects have been administered so far. Speaking at a press briefing in Accra, the head of public affairs at the West African Examinations Council, Agnes Kujo, said caution letters have been issued to 34 senior high schools following reported cases of examination malpractices.
Caution letters have been written to 34 schools, and we have the list attached, following tip-offs and reports from intelligence sources about schemes from those schools to ensure that their candidates cheat during the ongoing WASSCE. The 34 schools have been cautioned that their schools or their centers would be derecognized if malpractices were reported in those places during the examination. And we would like to inform you that 2 schools, that is Great Dafco SHS and Supreme SHS, both in the Ashanti region, were relocated to the Whitehall, Kumasi, to continue with their papers.
She also revealed that 23 suspected impersonation cases have been reported to the police.
Impersonation cases are on the increase in this year's WAS. As of today, 23 suspected impersonation cases from the following schools have been reported to the police: Vika Trust SHS Kaswa 3, St. John SHS Asante Bekwai 2, Winners SHS in Koko 1, Sunyani Business College 1, Mokoko SHS in Koko 1, and Prince Boateng SHS in Sawam 15.
Agnes Tekujo further said investigations are ongoing for the monitoring agent who was assaulted by a gang of 5 persons at Santa Maria.
And one of the council's commissioned monitoring agents was assaulted by a gang of 5 persons on Monday, 12 September 2022 at Santa Maria after monitoring the examination at Santa Maria Senior High School. He was severely beaten and had his mobile phone and spectacles damaged. A report on the incident was made at the Anya police station and investigations are ongoing.
The council, however, reiterated its commitment to ensuring the conduct of credible examinations at all levels despite the challenges. WASSCE is expected to end on September 27, 2022. Reporting for Metro News, Rosemary Anyimba, Accra.
Moving on, research analysis with World Resources Institute, Richard Dako has urged governments to intensify the education of drivers on the use of road signs and their meanings to mitigate the increasing spate of road crashes in the country. He made this known at the commissioning of a road safety enhancement project on the Ni Aja Kwao Road near London Market in the Jamestown.
The Road Safety Enhancement Project is being implemented by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly together with Bloomberg and the World Resources Institute to improve road safety in the capital. The enhancement of the Ni Aja Kwao Road near London Market is part of the many other projects earmarked to reduce the spate of road carnage in the city. The Road Safety Enhancement Project includes putting up road signs, properly marking road lines, and maintaining deteriorated roads. Elizabeth Saki is the mayor of Accra.
Following recommendations have been approved and implemented. Raised pedestrian crossing road together with rumble strips to help calm traffic. 30 kilometers per hour speed limit sign, school zone signs, road lines properly marked on the entire stretch of delineated to delineate the travels.
Research analyst with World Resources Institute, Richard Dako, urged government to intensify the education of drivers on the meaning of road signs.
Because it will surprise you to know that most of the drivers using the road are not too familiar with some of the road signs. And I believe driver re-education is something that we need to also focus on. And that would also help us reduce road crashes in Ghana. Myriad of issues. It is not just driver behavior. Driver behavior is one of the main problems that we face. I mean, people face using the roads, driver behavior, and also the infrastructure itself. The road, poor roads, also contribute to accidents.
The project will focus on corridors in the city with the highest statistics on road accidents.
The National Democratic Congress has announced a roadmap to its upcoming national, regional and constituency executives of the party. According to the General Secretary, the roadmap follows the completion of elections across all branches of the party. Both new and old names are expected to compete in the upcoming elections. According to experts, such internal competitions will arm the party come 2024.
The National Democratic Congress announced the 22nd and 23rd October 2022 for its constituency level elections, the 12th and the 13th of November 2022 for its regional elections, and the national elections slated for 17th December 2022. In a press conference held on Thursday, 15 September, the General Secretary of the party said the announced date is to help minimize conflicts within the party. Speaking on the upcoming elections, senior lecturer and development expert Dr. Isa Mohammed says the upcoming elections will stir up a lot of interest both among incumbents and upcoming candidates.
Almost 8 years in opposition, most of the party sympathizers and then party, even the leaders, the current leaders who are probably seeking re-election and those who are coming to, there'll be that kind of high level of interest and if somebody would say some level of desperation, particularly for those who are in incumbent leadership, and then also high level of expectation or more pressure from those who are coming into leadership. Apparently, for an obvious reason that 2024 seems to have a very good chance for the opposition NDC. And if you want to go by history, and if history will repeat itself, then 8 years round of MPP may not give them the opportunity. I think this is quite well established by many of the opinion polls that have been conducted.
According to him, the party should come out stronger regardless of the competition and misunderstandings that may emerge from the upcoming elections.
And I think that would be a very good democracy that as a party aspiring for 2024 presidential elections, then you should allow internal competition, and that will allow opportunity for others to also show their capacity and strength and then potentials. If they don't even win, they will become resources for the party coming into the main elections. But that is to say that immediately after the elections, whoever who wins should be able to identify all those who contested him to become a resource and can become a unified and a collective force to fight for the main elections.
Nominations for the upcoming National Democratic Congress national elections is expected to be opened on the 20th and 21st of October.
We're going for another break. We'll be back with a business, entertainment, and international news. Welcome. Now, the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has described the late Queen Elizabeth II as a selfless, decisive, and progressive leader. Dr. Bawumia was speaking at a Thanksgiving service in honor of the Queen, organized by the British High Commission and the Anglican Church in Accra.
Longest-serving monarch of England, Queen Elizabeth II, died on the 8th of September 2022 at the Balmoral Castle. She reigned for more than 70 years, making her the longest reigning monarch in British history. Before her passing, she was also the spiritual head of the Church of England. She held the title, the Defender of the Faith and Supreme Governor of the Church of England, which means she was also the head of the Anglican Church, a responsibility that also shaped her life. A Thanksgiving service was held in her honor by the Anglican Church in Ghana and the British High Commission in Accra. The Vice President of the Republic, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, lauded the selfless leadership of the Queen during her lifetime.
Her Majesty the Queen showed remarkable leadership in an era marked by strong anti-colonial and independence waves in the African continent. It is therefore not surprising that under her reign, the Commonwealth saw such a huge transformation.
The British High Commissioner Harriet Thompson said the Queen became a rock through her service, not just for the United Kingdom, but for so many around the world, especially the Commonwealth.
Her Majesty championed the development of the Commonwealth, and we're proud of the long-standing and strong role that Ghana plays in that family. This week, I've seen so profoundly, I've heard, I've felt the legacy Her Majesty leaves behind here in Ghana, and the warmth people feel towards her has been a comfort to me and my team through these difficult days. When I think of the Queen, I think of a great leader, a leader who led in her own unique way, For her, leadership was about service.
The Primate Church of Internal Province of West Africa and the Archbishop of the Internal Province of Ghana and Bishop of Asante, Most Reverend Dr. Cyril Kobna Ben Smith said, the Queen gave her life to that of service and as such must be emulated by all.
We are all called to serve. We are called to serve humanity. We are called to serve ourselves. And it's important in Ghana, let us look at patriotism. Let's take our nation seriously. Now everybody wants to do something for something. We don't want to do anything for free for the country Ghana. Everybody wants to get something for nothing. Let us all learn to be of service to ourselves and to our nation.
Queen Elizabeth II will be reunited with her late husband of more than 70 years and past family members as she's laid to rest on the 19th of September 2022.
The Asantehene Otumfuo Osei II has been invited to the state funeral of the late Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Elizabeth II, the UK's longest-serving monarch, died on Thursday, September 8th at Balmoral, aged 96, after reigning for 70 years. Queen Elizabeth II's funeral will be held on Monday, September 19, at Westminster Abbey in London. The invitation letter was released by the Protocol Directorate of the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, stating that Otumfuo Osei II was invited by the household of His Majesty King Charles III. The invitation letter further stated that the Asantehene will be attended by the Lane Estate, His Majesty the King's reception, State Funeral Service, and the Foreign Secretary's reception. The Protocol Directorate in the letter also stated that Otumfuo Osei II, together with her spouses, are all invited to attend the state funeral of the late Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. In 2018, Otumfuo Osei II hosted then Prince Charles at his Menchia Palace. The prince is now King Charles III. Well, up next, business news. The Eastern Regional Minister has noted the importance of agriculture to government in efforts at speeding up development. Speaking at the Eastern Regional Agribusiness Investors Conference and Exhibition in Koforidua, Seth Achampon noted the region's role as a major contributor to agri productivity.
Business Investor Conference and Exhibition is to link small-scale farmers and processors to market. It is also to push the agriculture industrialization agenda and create a healthy ground for business-to-business interactions. The forum will also create an opportunity for persons interested in agriculture to undertake a life-changing project in agriculture processing and to promote industrialization in Ghana and Africa. Eastern Regional Minister Seth Achampon said, agricultural development is the topmost priority on government's agenda.
And this is evident in the introduction and subsequent implementation of several flagship programs geared towards increasing the productivity of crops and livestock. Notable among these programs are the planting for food and jobs, rearing for food and jobs, and planting for export and rural development.
Still on business news, economist Paul Frimpong believes Ghana's inflation could hit 40% by the end of the year if no drastic measures are taken to curb the continuous rise in goods and services in the country. The latest inflation for August stands at 33.9%, which is 20% higher than 13.9% that was recorded at the beginning of this year.
Inflation figures had items like bread, smoked herrings, rent, fish, and transport fares going up by more than 40%. In addition to these items, economist Paul Frimpong says the cost of production has also impacted August inflation.
We are experiencing quite a turmoil, if you can put it that way. And of course, this inflation is just a reflection of what we've been experiencing in so many aspects of the Ghanaian economy. And so when you're consistently seeing increase in the cost of business and the cost of doing business, the cost of production, you definitely expect that the price of goods and services will go up. And typically what we are experiencing in Ghana in terms of our inflation is what we call the cost push inflation. Of course, the other side what we call the demand pull inflation, but this one is cost push inflation because we're dealing with a situation where we look at the items, the line items, as put at the Ghana Statistical Services in respect of the August report. Obviously, you can know that the cost of production has actually led to what we are experiencing now, and so we are not going to be okay in the short term unless we see some new measures to address the situation.
Paul Frimpong confirmed fears that inflation could hit 40% by the end of the year, depending on a number of factors, including how the country's economic bailout by the International Monetary Fund turns out.
I should think so. I think we are going to reach a peak, of course, within the last quarter. I'm anticipating that. And of course, we need to look at how the scenarios also play out in all other aspects of the economy. For example, our current negotiation with the IMF, seeking our bailouts, the kind of technical assistance, the kind of confidence you're going to have, especially the one that can target the city, because as we can see, in the basket of inflation that we experienced, we're talking about the imported food basket, which is very high.
Well, that's it for business news. Up next, entertainment news. An award scheme in Brazil has nominated Shatta Wale's popular song On God for this year's Anthem of the Year's category. He is the only African to be nominated for the said category.
10 million lashes, but I no cry. 10 years burial, but I no die. Take what's rightfully mine. Take what's rightfully mine.
Shatta Wale will compete against international music groups and soloists such as Why Don't We from the USA, 5 Seconds of Summer from Australia, Sabrina Carpenter from the USA, Flo from England, Tancredi from Italy, Lorraine from Sweden, and Rosaline from Armenia. While fellow African stars such as Burna Boy, Rema, and Wizkid are nominated in other categories, Break to Do Awards 2022 released its complete list of nominations on September 5th, with Shatta Wale competing with international acts. Shatta Wale released On God in April 2022, a single which sees him lash out at haters. Since its release, the music video has amassed over 4 million views on YouTube. Reacting to the nomination, the Gringo hitmaker retweeted the post on his page expressing his gratitude to the award organizers. The Break to Do Awards is a Brazilian award ceremony that honors artists of different sections like music, film, TV, YouTube, and TikTok content creators. Fans can vote for their favorites among the nominees selected by a credible group of judges on Break to Do's website and on Twitter. The awards show will be held on November 22nd and will be live streamed on Vox Brazil Play, Telemilenio YouTube channel, and Yeah TV.
I go bring my tortoise. On God, me, I promise. You go be there while you're there.
Congratulations to Shatta Wale for his international nomination. That's it for entertainment news. Up next is international news.
Ukraine officials believe war crime has been committed against the country, which they are determined to document. Around 100 Ukrainian emergency service workers wearing blue plastic coverings dug into the earth, opening makeshift graves. They are trying to establish the cause of the death of hundreds of people buried in a forest at the edge of the city, recently liberated by advancing Ukrainian forces. Izium, invaded in April, was used by Russia as a key military hub to supply its forces from the east. The Queen's grandchildren, including the Prince of Wales and the Duke of Sussex, will stand vigil around her coffin this evening as she lies in state in Westminster Hall. At King Charles' request, Prince Harry will wear military uniform for the first time since 2020. Prince Harry has worn civilian clothes at public events since the Queen died. The grandchildren's vigil is expected to last around 15 minutes. Hundreds of Boko Haram jihadists have fled a forest enclave in northeast Nigeria, escaping airstrikes by the military and fled from torrential rains to seek shelter on Niger's side of Lake Chad. Northeast Nigeria is facing a 13-year armed insurgency by jihadist groups, which has killed more than 40,000 people and displaced around 2 million from their homes. The violence has spilled into neighboring Niger, Chad, and Cameroon, with the jihadists maintaining camps in the vast Lake Chad region.
Well, that's it for international news, and that is where we bring an end to the news at 12 on Metro TV. My name is Harriet Adi. Do have a great day and enjoy the rest of our programs.